because the cable is actually inside here, and that's what's going to reconnect to the new part that we have. So the best way around this is to actually reconnect the motor outside of the truck and just get this using the switch, just to get this piece to come on down. And that's what I need to be able to attach it to the new part. And right now, the way it is, it's inside the unit itself, inside this hose harness. Something else that I wanted to mention here is, I don't think you can see it, but right here there's a small little rivet. That's going to have to be either drilled out or cold chiseled out. It's an added support to attach this plastic piece in here. And also, if you flip this over, the same part's going to have also these two metal tabs. I'll see if I can get a pointer here. These two metal tabs right here and right here. Those are going to have to be bent with a pair of pliers, and that'll also allow this piece to come right off. When this piece comes off, you'll be able to take this plastic piece here and slide it right off the track. And here we go. Okay, I'm going to work these two out here, and there we go. Now they're separated. You can see what that looks like there and here. This is the part here that I think is pretty important to show you guys. Alright, now here's the part that we've taken off the corner of the cable over here. Alright, so that's all done now. That's completely taken off. If we slide this off, here, I'll show you what we got. Alright, now, this is what's typical. This is what the cable attached to. The cable came up through here and attached on a little spiral right here, and it all broke. It's only plastic, it's nylon, whatever you want to call it, and it's garbage. Alright, I don't know if you can see that. I'm trying to get a good shot of that. Now, the problem with this is that this is how the replacement's going to be made. So we've had people that have called in, and even that I've researched, that they keep putting these in. You go to the dealership, they replace that whole entire assembly, and like I said, it's probably upwards of $300 to $400 a piece, and really this is the only part that broke. I mean, really the motor works, the track's working fine, everything broke but this. So this is now the garbage. That's junk. After doing some research, I'm actually going to plug a company that I saw here online. Actually decided to go with. This is from Steiger Performance out of New York, and I'm in no way affiliated with Steiger Performance, but I believe talking about a company, if I see that it's actually doing a good job, that would actually help people like you and me just do our daily stuff. Alright, now I'm going to show you the difference with why I think Steiger Performance works. I'm going to take this right out of the package and show you. This is the replacement part right here. You see the difference already? You flip this the right way. Is that this is metal, okay? It's not plastic like the like Jeep made in the beginning from some foreign country for nickels or pennies at a piece here, or whatever it is. All right, this guy actually took the time and figured out the woes and the complaints of everybody, and decided to make this thing out of metal. Now you can actually see what this is supposed to hook into. This is actually what broke on the plastic piece. Okay, the cable's going to feed up through here, and it's just going to turn, you know, and tighten up, and that's how it connects, and you go all the way till it's probably not going to go anymore to the end here. Like I said, this is the first time I've done this, but as you can see, definitely already, without even using it, I can tell it's by far a superior product than what the original factory piece was. And like I said, I'm not part of Steiger Performance at all. Like I said, they're from New York. You can look them up online. I know for a fact they're also on Facebook. But I don't know. Maybe this video might even help his sales or whatever. But it's not why I'm here. But I definitely want to show you people that, just so the fact you'll be able to go ahead and fix your Jeep or your Cherokee with these parts. The front and rears are different, obviously, so you need to, and left and right is also different, so you need to tell him what broke on there. but it looks pretty good. It looks like each one even is engraved or etched in here with probably who made it, or probably the number of the part. But anyway, it was really probably the most important part of this video, because if you don't use something heavy duty like this, you're probably going to have it break again, and I'm sure you're going to be right back here redoing it and frustrated. So there you go. Alright, now I'm going to start putting this thing together. Okay, I just want to take a second to show you this. This is with the new Steiger piece. Here I've got the cable. I cleaned up some of the this red fuzzy stuff here. It's not really important, so I peeled back, I don't know, about 2 inches. I'm not sure what that was, but ripped it right out of there, because when you thread this on, it's just going to get in the way anyway. And yeah, let's see, another important part is at the end of this here, you just want about 1/8 of an inch sticking out. Any more or less, and it's going to really impede the operation of closing or opening the window, either way. So far the only problem I had was actually beginning to thread it in here at the beginning from the end of the cable. Steiger Performance recommends you can either flip the cable over, use either end, or if you want, you can actually file down a little bit of the edge here, which is what I did. I just filed down the outer edge of it just a little bit, enough, not too much, just enough to get it started. And once it actually began, it just went ahead and threaded right on, and that was it. What you do is put this back into the track here, and you see the actual track that the Steiger part's going to be resting on, while the other part is for the cable. So you just want to feed both these in. So you can start with that. Get that started right in there, and make sure this goes all the way in. Okay, just like that for now. So we can go ahead and connect this back up, put it back over our little tabs that we had before. Back over the tabs. Alright, just like that. So what we're going to do, bend these tabs down back to the way they were, and then we flip it over. This part that we drilled out for the rivet, we'll replace it with a machine screw, a little screw that goes in there. Okay, I'll go ahead and do that now. This is where I'm going to stray a little bit from Steiger Performance's instructions on this. During installation, they actually wanted to remove the 3 torques that are on the actual motor assembly, so you'll be able to slide this better and be able to get it in the door cavity better. Now this is attached. They need the plate bracket probably about 4 to 7 inches away from the bottom of the track in order to fit it into the door cavity. But what I think I'm going to do is, instead of doing all this, this actually all came out without loosening up the torques and everything. I was able to get it out of the cavity without doing that. The motor's fine. I don't really feel it necessary to take that apart. I'm actually going to try to just replug in the motor outside of the door, and then using the switch, I'll be able to, now this is connected, I'll be able to manipulate the bracket up and down to the 4 or 7 inches that Steiger wants you to do, and then I'll be able to unplug it and reinstall it in the door cavity. You do it as you see fit. Should you go with this retrofit here from Steiger, that's what I'm going to try to do the first thing before I do anything else. Let's go ahead and plug that motor in for a second outside of the door, and manipulate that that new piece into the position where we can fasten it to the window later. It's going to sit in the door just like this, so I think what they're saying is just to get this to move in a way that you can get it inside this cavity here and attach it. Eyeball this here. Just going to eyeball it where it is with the cavity opening in the door here. Alright, that looks pretty good. So I'm going to try to do it this way. That's about this 4 to 7 inches that Steiger wants. So let's see, disconnect it. Kind of just going back the way it was. This is how it sits in there. Okay, just like this. So I'm going to turn off the camera and go ahead and install this. But it's going to be a little bit more of the finagling again. Going to get this back in here, work it in, get it down to sit in there, and once I get it back in place here, just for the sake of editing and saving tape space here, trying to keep this down to a minimum, I'll get it installed in the door right now. It's in the cavity, but it's not really in there. I got one bolt holding it down, but I wanted to be able to turn this back on just to show you real quickly that the correct way to mount this. Okay. There's the motor. It's not plugged in yet. Alright. Which we could do now before we actually get the motor in place. It's a little easier to connect it right here because I can still see the female connection on the motor. So I'm going to go ahead and reverse connect that. Okay. Once you get it in place, go ahead and put that red tab back on the lock. That's going to lock it in place. Okay, now the motor is reconnected. It's a little easier to do it there than when it's in place. Alright. Got that one sitting there. The next important part is to make sure that this cable tube, make sure it's routed in a way that it's back on this side of the track. You don't want it, don't flip them, don't reverse around. This has to stay on the outside. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this in place. 2 more to go. Okay, roughly it's in there. I'm going to go ahead and tighten this up, and what I'll do is before I drop the window down, I did lube this up a little bit. One thing I didn't show you, but now's a good time if you didn't, is to get a little grease in there and lube on the inside of the track just to help the mechanism work a little better. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and fasten that down, and then we'll go ahead and reconnect the window. We'll call this puppy done. Managed to connect the window back to the new retrofitted Steiger Performance window plate, and let's give it a test run and make sure it works. I've got the retainer clips already in, it's already fastened down. That was the easy part. Retaining clip back in, retaining clip back in, nice and tight. Secured the harness with the Christmas tree fastener back into the door. Looks good, it's all tightened down. Let's try it out. That's how it's done. Okay, so that wraps up another episode of Driveway Mechanics. Went pretty good. Took a little about an hour to do, I guess, from start to finish. The hardest part of the job, like I had mentioned, was trying to get the cable into the Steiger Performance part, but through their instructions, it was easily remedied just by filing down the end of the cable a little bit just to fit. That was the only real problem I had with it. Everything else went like a piece of cake. So I definitely recommend looking these guys up. They seem to know what they're doing. Steiger Performance down out of New York, I believe it was. You can find them on Facebook, or just do a normal Google search or a regular search engine to find them, and you should have no trouble at all locating them. As far as the window goes, I suggest if you have the same type of problem that you go ahead and get it fixed. It was definitely worth for me to find these guys and do my research and my homework on it. Hopefully it lasts forever, for as long as I have the truck, because parts like this are junk. The dealership's not going to help you out, and Jeep's not going to help you out anytime soon with any type of recall on it, because it's not really considered a safety item. So go ahead and get yourself, get your Jeep fixed up, or your Cherokee, or your Liberty, or whatever have you. So use my video as a guide only. obviously go by their instructions, which are easily mapped out. I actually have a copy here, and it's clear, easy to bell read. Worked out great. I only strayed from the one point from the instructions where they actually wanted you to take apart the motor to move that up and down the track, but I actually was able to get it in there without doing all that, just by replugging in the motor and using the motor's own power to put that plate where I needed it. So once again, try it. You shouldn't have to live with coat hangers and tape and whatever else to keep the window from working. The windows are made to go up and down, so make them go up and down. I'll talk to you later.